What is going on, everybody? Welcome to part 2 of this contextual menu tutorial. In this video, we're going to expand upon what we did in the last video. So if you haven't seen part 1, you really need to. The link is in the description. But in this video, basically, we're going to add multiple items and objects to the game, and the menu will change based on which item that you've actually selected. So if you select food, you can have the object to eat. If you select a glass of water, you'll have the option to drink. That way it's just not the same exact menu for every single item. So let's go ahead and get into it. I went ahead and made 2 additional sprites, Sprite Money and Sprite Water, with my awesome spriting skills. And we're gonna go ahead and create those objects. We'll create object water, and we'll grab that sprite, and then we'll make another object called object money. Assign the sprite, and let's add it to our room. So under our instances layer, we just want to drag water, and then drag the, then we want to drag the money. So now to create the different buttons. So go ahead and open up your object menu, or object C menu in it, and we need to add some buttons. So the first thing I'm going to do, just to help us as we code along, I'm going to change the name of these 3 buttons. So I'm going to name it, let's see, food / pick up, food / drop, and food / eat. And then we're going to add water / pick up, 3 water / drop, or actually we'll just do water / drink, and then we'll do money / spend. So that'll just help us in our code, so we can know that, okay, these IDs right here are for food, and these IDs are for water, and this one is for money. Okay, so we need to change the name of these, so we'll just add food / pick up. Go ahead and copy food and paste it here. So just went ahead and changed the name of these enumerators, so no other code needs to be changed other than that. But we do need to give text to the new buttons that we created. So we could even say food buttons, then we can say water buttons, and say global.cmenu /grid square bracket question mark cmenu dot water / pick up, close the bracket, equals pick up water. Okay, and just do that again. cmenu dot water / drink. Okay, and then money buttons. cmenu dot money / spend. Okay, so we have a bunch of new buttons here, and now we just need to make some changes to our code and in our objects here. So let's go to object food. Now in the last video I had you add this piece of code. If instance exists, C menu button, go ahead and delete that. We don't need that. So let's go ahead and delete that code. Let's move this back. Now we want to create a create event in our object food. Create, delete this. And we basically just want to create a list. Now I did a tutorial on DS list, and you can find the link for that in the description of this video. But let's go ahead and create a list called buttons, and DS list create. And then we're going to add the enumerators to this list. So we'll say DS list, add buttons, and then the values. So since this is food, we just have to say cmenu dot food / drop, comma, cmenu dot food / pick up, comma, cmenu dot food / eat. And then we can close our code there. So we just made a list with the enumerators for our buttons, and So yeah, this list basically contains, let's open up our menu here, these three numbers, 0, 1, and 2. So let's go ahead and go back to our object food. And so now we're just going to change this for loop under right pressed, and we're just going to take out this global number of buttons. We don't need that anymore. And we're just going to say, instead of that, ds list size buttons. So however many values that we have in our list here, which is 3, it will run that for loop 3 times. Okay, and under this inst.action equals I, we don't want that to be I anymore because it would be equal to whatever our for loop is. We want to say ds list find value and then buttons and then I. So it'll just go in order, in whatever order we put this in. So it should show drop, pick up, and then food, eat, in that order. So just know whatever order you put it in the list is the order it will appear in your contextual menu. So that's basically it for that. And let's run our code and see if that works. Okay, we got an error. So let's go to where the error is. Oh, I guess we do have to change code in our object C menu button. So let's change these to food underslash, and then food underslash. So we needed to change the enumerators in your object C menu button under the left pressed. So go ahead and do that as well. Now it should work. Hopefully. Okay, so when we right click on the food, we still have our options, drop, pick up, and eat. Now, when we right click on these guys, nothing happens. So let's go ahead and add the code there. So let's close our game here and open up object food. And basically, let's just copy and paste this code from the create event, open up our object water, add a create event, and let's paste the code in there. Then go back to object food, right pressed. Let's go ahead and copy this code and paste it in right pressed. Mouse, right pressed, delete that, paste. So in our create event, we just want to change these options here. So go ahead and delete all the food options and just say cmenu.water underslash pickup and then cmenu.water underslash drink. So you can have as many values as you want in the list. So you can have anywhere from 1 to just however many. So in this one we have 2. And we can do this again. Let's go ahead and copy this code in the create event and go to object money, add create event, delete this, paste it in, go back to our object water, go to right pressed, copy this, and add a right pressed event. Delete that. Okay, paste it on in just like before. Go to our create event, delete these, and say cmenu.money underslash spend. Okay, so now when we, actually one more thing we need to do. Go to your object C menu button, and we need to add these new buttons into our switch menu. So under C menu button, under the left pressed event, case C menu dot water pick up water, show menu or message pick up water, break kc menu dot water underslash drink, and then show message drink break, and then one more, c menu dot money underslash spend, show message. Okay, break. Let's click F5 and run our code. So when we click on the food, we have our options. When we click on the money, we have one option. When we click on the water, we have our 2 options. So pretty easy stuff. Anyway, I hope this helped you guys out. Actually, let's add one more thing to this menu. This will really help you a lot. So let's say when we spend this money, we want it to disappear. Okay, so right now it just has a pop-up, but how do we make this money like disappear? Very easy. So let's go ahead and close this. We're gonna add a script And we're gonna say for this script, it's gonna be C menu underslash show buttons, okay? So for this script, let's go to our object food. For the right pressed event, let's cut this for loop. Cut. Let's go back to our script and we're gonna paste it here, okay? And now we're basically gonna make this right pressed event for our objects into a script. So there's a few things we're gonna want. We're gonna say var, how about ds list equals argument 0. So change this ds list size, change buttons into your ds list. And let's change it there too. And let's go ahead and add this param ds list. The next thing we're going to need is, let's see, var inst id equals argument 1. Let's add this too, param instance id. And then we're just going to add inst id equals inst id. Okay, let me look that over. Again, this is just very impromptu, so okay. So basically now we're gonna go back to object food and say C menu underslash show buttons. The DS list is buttons, and then the instance ID is our ID. So this should do something. Let's go ahead and run the code. Right click on this. Okay, it still works. Okay, very cool, very cool. So the next thing we want to do is go ahead and go to object water, delete your right pressed event, and say C menu underslash show buttons. Buttons, and then ID. And then in our object money, do the same thing. So C menu show buttons, buttons, and then ID. So again, remember buttons is our DS list that we created here. And okay, so one thing we added to this script here, so it's basically taking all that code that was in the right pressed event for all those objects, it's putting it into one script to just make it super easy. But one thing we added right here, remember inst is the object C menu button, okay? So that's our button when we click. One thing we added was inst.instaid. So again, inst is this guy, is the button. But the instance ID is the instance ID of like our object food or our object water or object money. And it's basically giving that little piece of data to our object C menu button. So let's open up our object C menu button, and instead of this pop-up under C menu.money spend, instead of just this pop-up, we're going to say spent. We're still going to put the pop-up up, but then we're going to say with inst ID instance destroy. So now that money is going to disappear after we click on it, okay? We can do the same with food eat. So after it says you ate something, we can say with inst ID instance destroy, okay? Same with drink the water. After it says drink, we can say with inst ID instance destroy. So with that instance ID variable now in the mix, you can now, under this switch statement, under your object C menu button, under the left breast, with that inst ID, you can manipulate the exact option that you just right clicked on to bring up the menu. So let's go ahead and run the game. So when we spend our money, spent, it's gonna disappear. So now we can manipulate all these objects. Eat, disappear. Drink, disappear. Okay, so that does a lot. So basically now when you pick something up, you can use inst ID to add it to your inventory. You can use inst ID to drop it on the ground or whatever you want to do. Okay, this is just an example. This destroys it, but you can use inst ID to do all kinds of things, okay? Okay, so that about wraps it up. If you have any questions, I know this is a little bit intermediate to advanced stuff, but hopefully you're learning something. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment, or you can join us on Discord. You can support me on Patreon if you like these videos, and other than that, I'll see you guys next video.